Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly market view presented to you by Sharekhan Education for the week Monday 25th of April to the 29th of April 2022. Let's dive down deep into the charts and look at the broader markets, and let's look at some stocks that are going to be in action for this week. Alright, so let's dive down deep into the charts and let's look at how the markets look like for the coming week. Let's start with the Nifty analysis. So here we have the monthly chart. Again, nothing much has changed. The monthly demand zone is holding. As we can see that there is a little bit of consolidation that is happening here, and there is some kind of profit booking coming over here, because of which the markets are moving into a consolidation. The more or less the trend is still very strong on the Nifty. So any further dips in the Nifty can be bought into. Let's have a look at the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we are seeing a little bit of selling pressure from this area over here of supply, and as you know for a matter of fact that in the past few weeks we had spoken about this indecision candle here at supply. So this is what is causing this move to the downside. Now as per the weekly closing, there are still a lot of indecision candles, so markets might stay here, might move sideways, or might tend to move a little bit further down as well. The weekly demand zone is still intact, so if price comes back into this area of demand, there can be another bounce coming into the market. Let's look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, pretty much the picture is the same here. There is this gap level of demand here where the markets are actually holding price. Today the market has again gapped down into this area, and as soon as the market is gapping down, there is a little bit of selling pressure coming in, but till and until the 16,800 level doesn't break, we could still assume that we could still be getting a bounce coming into the market. Now this bounce could be either a strong bounce, or this bounce could be a bounce which could lead into another consolidation. So this is the picture on the Nifty. Let's move on to the Bank Nifty chart. On the Bank Nifty chart, we are seeing the monthly time frame. This is the monthly chart of the Bank Nifty, and if you look at the monthly chart of the Bank Nifty here, the markets have made let me just remove all the tools here. Yeah, right. So markets are still holding on to this monthly demand zone, and prices are again selling off from the highs, very similar to what is happening on the Nifty. If you look at the weekly chart, there is no demand zone nearby. There is this weekly supply level over here, which is around 39,400, but it is far away from the current market price. So what we are expecting the market to do on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty is that the markets might just tend to be in a sideways range. As you can also see over here, the markets today have gapped down into this area and are pretty much holding on to this gap level of demand here. So again, unless and until this level breaks to the downside, we cannot say that the markets will turn bearish. The markets can easily turn from this current market price level and start moving up, or tend to gap up and move again into a consolidated manner. It will be interesting to see if the markets do come up to this area, whether this supply zone will hold and bring the markets down once again. So right now we are in a demand zone, and right now we should not be looking at any shorts on the Bank Nifty. Let's look at the USD INR, because the USD INR is going to give us an inverse picture. Not always, but most of the times. As you can see on the monthly chart, the USD INR is on the verge of making all-time highs. There is no supply zone on the USD INR here. The monthly demand zone is holding up nicely, showing a nice bounce. Now we do have a supply zone here, which is at the extreme levels of this daily chart. Prices are still far away, but in case if the USD INR continues to move to the upside, then that's not going to be good news for the indices, right? Because the USD INR is inversely correlated to the market. So for this week, since Bank Nifty is in focus, I thought that it could be interesting to bring the HDFC twins into our analysis and just try and see what the HDFC twins have been doing. So let's start off with HDFC first, and let's start off with HDFC on the monthly chart. So very recently there was this merger news announced between these two companies, HDFC and HDFC Bank, and this created a big spurt of a move to the upside. But thereafter, there has been a big sell-off that has been coming in into HDFC and HDFC Bank. Now, what we are seeing on the chart is this is more or less the range of demand and supply on the HDFC chart. And here we can clearly see that there is this level of demand which is created on the monthly chart. So prices might tend to be ranging between this level of demand and this level of supply in the coming weeks. If we look at the weekly chart, we are in this area of weekly demand, which was previously a reaction from where the bounce came into the market. Now we are again retesting this area very close, so we need to again be very careful, because these two HDFC twins, that is HDFC and HDFC Bank, are heavyweights on the banking index, and once they start rallying, then they are going to create a very strong momentum to the upside. If we look at the daily chart right now, let's bring up the daily chart here. And if you look at the daily chart, prices are holding on to this level of daily demand, right? And although the prices have come strongly into this level, there is this period of consolidation or accumulation that is taking place on the charts here. So in the coming days, we could see something like this coming down into this level of demand, and then prices moving up towards this area of supply. So it will be interesting to see how HDFC moves in the coming days. Let's quickly have a look at HDFC Bank. And if you look at the HDFC Bank, a very similar picture once again on the HDFC Bank as well. You have this supply zone over here, you have this area of demand, and more or less prices are right in the middle, right? We did see a strong reaction of HDFC Bank from this weekly supply when the merger news was out, and thereafter HDFC Bank has sold off quite drastically. Right now we are within this daily level of demand that you see on the price chart here, which is currently holding, and it will be interesting to see that both the HDFC and the HDFC Bank are in a demand zone, and if once they start showing interest and once they start moving up, and this is going to bring the Bank Nifty into the positive territory once again. Again, the supply zone on HDFC in the HDFC Bank in the short term is 1482. So if we do tend to see a good bounce coming in on HDFC Bank, then we are going to see a pretty strong rally in the Bank Nifty in the coming days or in the coming week. So this is it from me, everyone. Thank you very much for your time. Let's meet same time next week for more analysis on stocks, and we will cover some more sectors. Thank you.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.